In theory, it means that I'm a coach of the coaches, but I don't like to define myself like that. I like to define myself as a friend from our coaches, from our coaching staff. Somebody that I always wanted when I was starting my coaching career, and I never had the opportunity to have. And that's what we talk with them. So I'm here to help them with the questions that they have, with the problems that they have, because it's important for us to remember that before the coaches there are people, and as people have difficulties. So I'm here for them, for that as well, but especially, of course, to implement a methodology that we want to have in Widzew Academy.
So firstly, I would like to ask you, for how long are you planning to be here together with us?
My plans are to be as long as the club wants me here. I've been feeling almost as a second house here, as a second home. The people are very kind. My family is very, very happy in Łódź. Very cozy city, fantastic club, fantastic environment. Oh, the idea was from the beginning, in the meetings we had, that decision from the club, of course, to have 1 year contract, but always told me that the idea was to stay more, but in terms of for them to understand if my adaptation was good, if we enjoyed here, so it was to have 1 year in the beginning, and then with the possibility to extend the contract. This will be a process for many years. We can't implement anything in 1 year, because sometimes in 1 year it's to make the organization work, and then we can start implementing something. So far has been solid, but short steps in order for us to develop something big here in the club, according to the name of the club and according to the history of the... So our main goal here, in terms of methodology, to try to be simple and easy to understand, is if we change the shirts from our players, the people come to the tribune and they can see, oh, they are playing with another shirt, but they are Widzew, because that's the style that they have, and that's the style that we want to implement.
And what is the style that you would like to implement, and Maciej Szymański would like to implement too?
Our main goal is the A-team. So in the academy, the only way for us to produce players, not to be in the A-team, but to be ready to perform in the A-team, because it's two different things, it's to have players that are confident with the ball. So that's simple as that, because we believe that if the players don't have the ball, they can't develop as much as they can with the ball, because nobody started playing football in the background, in the backyard, without the football. So here it's exactly the same. The players are more confident, the players are more motivated. They don't come to the training, they come to the training to enjoy, and that's a completely different thing, because when we do something that we have pleasure, we are going to perform much, much better. The style, as we were talking, we want to have a team dominant with the ball. We want to have a team that controls the game with the ball, a team that knows when it's time to speed up and when it's time to keep the ball for ourselves, and at the same time we want to play a bit with the culture of Widzew, because the culture of Widzew, it's players that are very combative, players that are fighting for the ball, and it's the same as we want here. We want teams that are dominant when they have the ball, but at the same time teams that are dominant when we lose the ball. We want teams to react very fast, to get the ball as fast as possible, and to avoid that the opponent team can score goals. So in general terms, this is what we want. It's something that we have been working with the coaches, because we can't forget that to be ready to get the ball again when we have the ball, we need to be balanced when we have the ball. And sometimes it's something that we were missing before. We wanted so much to attack that our players were not prepared to get the ball back. So that's a job that we have been doing with the coaches in order to understand which were the problems in the different matches from the different teams, and what can we do in order to improve that situation. We did from the beginning. So when I arrived to the club, we realized that what we call potential learning time, to the time that the players have contact with the ball in the sessions, because it can be that the session has 90 minutes, but then if we squeeze it, the players were touching the ball 50 minutes, and that was a problem in the first week, in the first month. So the first conclusion that we took, so I was taking times with a chronometer, And the first conclusion that we took was that in 90-minute sessions, during the first month, so August, the players, the different teams had an average of 50 minutes potential learning time. So if we talk about this, like 90 minutes the session, 50 minutes potential learning time, maybe we think that this is not so important. But if we make if we check at the big picture, if we have an average of 50 minutes in a session, if we have 2 sessions of 90 minutes, we had 1 session. Yeah. Because we lost 1. We were there giving the session, but we were not there. So we were talking, discussing which strategies can we find to improve this kind of situations. And they found some strategies. Okay, let's implement it. And then we tried to do a review in the next month, take times again, see. And in the next month, our objective was 75 minutes when we have sessions of 90, and we achieved. For us, it's a big achievement because that's when we can start working on something else, because it's no point for us to be able to put all the gears in the car if we don't know how to turn it on. So and here had to be the same. We can't start on things a bit more complex if we don't have control over the simple things. So we moved from the potential learning time to the content. So now we are talking about the content of the exercises. This is a very, very important theme because just to give you an example, we can have fantastic players on our games solving a situation close to the sideline 3 against 3, but then they can solve that kind of situation, but then the winger from the opposite side is close to the striker. So what is going to happen is that we are going to solve that situation on the right side, and we can't go to the goal because there's no space. Mm-hmm. This guy is ruining everything. So these were the kind of discussions that we were having with the coaches, because before we were a lot centered on the center of the game. So where the ball is, we need to solve this kind of situation. Yes, it's very important. But what about the guys that are on the other side? Because they can ruin everything that you did well.
Widzew identity. You have made such a document, presentation, I don't know how to call it, but I think this is this milestone. Tell us what is this?
Well, this is a document like we talked in the beginning. It was a document made by me, but I report everything to Tomasem, and then we were agreeing on what we should put there, and then we decided to show to the coaches. And this is not more, not less than that wish of changing the clothes from our players and still be able to see Widzew players there. And for that it's essential for our coaches to speak the same language, because our discussions in the beginning was, okay, but this player should be there, this player should be there, this player should be here. But what is here and what is there? Because for me, here can be there, and for you, here can be here or there or something. So we needed to reach an agreement that, okay, here is inside behind the first line of pressure, because we need to be here to be balanced when we lose the ball. Okay, now we are talking, and all the coaches know that one center midfielder needs to be behind the first line of pressure. When we talk about that, it's not new. And when we talk about that, everybody knows what is that. We needed to produce a document made with images from us, because I think that was very important. We recorded the match from the B team, because if we would do it from Juventus, there can be always the excuse that, okay, but they are Juventus, so they do that. No, we start from us, what we do, because there are things that we do good, and there are things that we don't do so good. What we don't do good, we need to see what we can do to improve. What we do good, it's also to put in the video so the coaches can see, okay, this is already good. So this was a starting point for everything. And that's a question that the people ask a lot, but did you bring the Portuguese methodology here? No. It was already many things being done well, and that's very important to say. What I tried to bring was some inspiration, and of course some sort of principles from the methodology, giving support to what the things were already done.
You are studying now, the neurology, the neurobiology, the adaptation of the brain during the football game.
It's important for us to understand what is the decision making, because I think there is some misunderstanding about it. The people think that we create the context and we put the rules, and then the things are going to happen because they need to decide fast. But in terms of decision making, again, that is produced in the limbic system. That's something that we have been talking with our coaches, that instead of creating exercises with 2 touches, that the players need to give 2 touches, you just need to put the field smaller. Because if the field is smaller, you don't need the players you don't need to say that it's 2 touches. They are going to give. And then it's completely different, because that process goes into their long-term memory. So then the players are going to use it.
You said that the emotions are one of the most important things in football. The emotions of the player during playing the football on the pitch. Could you please tell more about it?
Yes. So this goes a bit in the way that the brain works. We know that if we are anxious, normally it blocks our actions. It's normal. So it's very important for us to anticipate those kind of situations, and that's a part of the training as well. Situations like, for example, that we are losing 1-0. We start losing 1-0. The players start to be frustrated. They start to be anxious. Those kind of situations need to be worked in the training. So they need to know how to react when those kind of situations happen. We need to start using some what we call mental triggers for the players to adapt to that kind of situation. So for example, we define a rule in the exercise that when we concede a goal, we have 10 minutes to make five shots. Okay. So immediately your brain passes from that image of the goal conceded to the 5 shots, and they are going to focus on that and forget what was done before. Sometimes some coaches think that this is a job from the coach during the match. No, this needs to be prepared before the match. So you just need to tell to the players, if you need in the match, 5 shots, and they know already what is 5 shots because we were working before. If they are focused on that emotion, that okay, we conceded the goal, we can't go there, we don't manage to change the result, they won't do it, because there is a circle that says that if you have that emotion, your behavior is going to be according to that emotion, and that emotion is going to show the behavior that you are going to do. So this is a circle of a problem. So you need to go out of that problem immediately in your brain and to go into what you should do, that is to refocus on what you have to do.
Tomas, what does your work look like in everyday regime here in Widzew Academy?
So we change a bit. We change a bit from day to day. So on Mondays, normally we have it's the meeting. So it's to prepare the week. We have meetings with the different blocks to discuss a bit how was the match, how was the last week, and what should we do for the next week in order to improve. So we start analyzing some clips of the match for us to discuss, because it's very important for us to have the same look. So when we look to a match, we need to see exactly what we look and to have all the coaches looking into the same way. After that, normally on Mondays is a day that I take advantage, since I'm here the whole day, to have meetings, to watch all the training sessions. So normally we watch the trainings and we talk with the coaches about some details of the session, what can we improve. And that's a normal routine that we have, not just in the training sessions on Monday, but during the whole week. Innovations, because this is something very important. Football is developing every day, so we need to look at matches and we need to look at different kind of situations that the team did according to some situation that happened in the match. Because if we stop, we die, as we say, and football is developing every day, so we need to keep following the tendencies.
You had the sack of money, and proposition from Widzew, Tomas put this sack of money, this is I don't know, millions of zlotys, and make one thing to develop the academy. Do you choose then the infrastructure, people, development of other kind? What would you choose to invest in?
I would say to raise the salary of our coaches. To raise the salary of our coaches, because they deserve, and they have been working very hard, and I believe that we can achieve something else with people. The infrastructures we have, wish many clubs in Portugal would have these infrastructures, but the people are what are really important here. And when we have such people that are open to new ideas, such people that are willing to try, because there are people that they like to be in the, as we were talking, the comfort zone. There are people that want to be in comfort zone all the time, so they don't try different things. But these coaches do. So my praise to them would be to raise their salaries, because those are the people that we count on the future, and those are the people that we believe that will help our players to achieve the A-team prepared to perform in that level.
And the rest of the money, some laboratory development of
Yes, definitely to maybe bring somebody to help us in that way, to what we were talking about, the tendencies, to understand what is going on in the world of football. That can be in terms of field, that can be in terms of outside the field, different researches. That can
so
be
the knowledge you would invest it in the knowledge.
Yes, exactly, because we are learning every day, so we need people that challenge us every day in order for us to improve. I'm very grateful to be here, and once again, thank you so much from the people, from the club that have been welcoming so good for me and my family, and that has been fantastic.